Hi there, welcome to another virtual presentation at Lake Perris State Recreation Area. My name is Phil and I'm one of the park interpreters. Today we'll be talking about earthquakes, but before we get started, let's go over some stuff. Because of the COVID-19 crisis and the shelter-in-place order, we at Lake Perris are working to bring our park to you to enjoy from the safety of your home. I just want to remind you of the importance of washing your hands for at least 20 seconds throughout the day. And covering your nose and mouth when you sneeze or cough. Remember to practice social distancing by staying at least 6 feet away from other people. And please follow any local regulations in your area. Let's get started. So, earthquakes happen all over the world, and they're really common here in California. Earthquakes not actually happen every day, but they're usually so small you don't notice them. However, sometimes we experience big earthquakes that can be dangerous to people and cause a lot of damage. Today we're going to be talking about why earthquakes happen and what we can do to stay safe when they do happen. Earthquakes can be scary, but with a little knowledge, we can be ready for them. To understand earthquakes, we have to know about some cool geological stuff like Pangaea and plate tectonics. So you might be asking, what in the world is Pangaea? Well, a long time ago, all the continents that we have today were joined into one supercontinent called Pangaea. Pangaea is a compound of two Greek words, pan and Gaia, which mean all earth. If you look at this map here, you can see all the continents and where they fit into Pangaea. You might notice that Europe and Asia are combined together and called Eurasia. If you look at any map today, you can see that Europe and Asia are still connected to each other. And what about India? Why is it separate from Eurasia, but now it's part of Asia? When Pangaea split apart and the continents drifted apart, the Indian subcontinent collided with Eurasia to become part of it. When India joined with Asia, the plates pushed together and created really big mountains. Those mountains are called the Himalayas, which separate India from the rest of Asia. Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world, is part of that range. So how did Pangaea split apart into 7 continents, and how did they move to where they are now? The Earth is made up of different layers. There's the core, the mantle, and crust. We live on the crust. The Earth's crust is made up of large pieces called plates, and each of the continents are on different plates. And the plates all move very slowly. Over the course of a really long time, the continents moved away from each other and ended up where they are now. But they're still moving. This movement is called plate tectonics. The tectonic plates move 1 or 2 inches per year. So what does plate tectonics and continents moving around have to do with earthquakes? Earthquakes are what happens when 2 plates bump into each other. Think of the time you bumped into something while walking or running. Something probably got knocked over, right? It's the same thing for the tectonic plates when they bump each other or rub together. When the plates come in contact, they create friction as they rub together. That friction causes constant, very small earthquakes that we don't really notice. But sometimes they will get snagged and will pull on each other. Try hooking your fingers together and pulling them in opposite directions. You should feel tension in your fingers, arms, and back. Now let them go. Did your hands fling apart when you let go? That's what happens to the plates when they get snagged on each other and they suddenly break loose. And that will cause a big earthquake that we can feel and may cause damage. Here in California, we have a lot of earthquakes because we live in a place where the Pacific and North American plates meet. Places like that are called fault lines. In California, we have a big fault line that runs through the whole state called the San Andreas Fault. And there are smaller ones that branch off. Here at Lake Perris, we have a few of them that are nearby. On this map, you can see Lake Perris inside of the green square. We have both the San Andreas and the San Jacinto faults to the north and the Elsinore to the south. All of these can cause earthquakes here at Lake Perris. The San Jacinto fault is the closest and the most likely to cause problems for the park. We even had to make the dam that holds all our water stronger just in case of a big earthquake. So, how do we keep ourselves safe during an earthquake? Well, when you're just doing your thing and the ground starts to shake, here's what you do. If you're outside, stay outside. buildings can get damaged during an earthquake, so outside is safer. If you're inside, at home or at school, you should duck and cover. Crouch down and cover your head and your neck with your hands or arms to protect yourself from stuff falling. If there's a table or desk nearby, get under it and hold on, while still covering your head and neck. You should practice ducking and covering so when there is an earthquake, you will be ready. When the shaking stops, wait, because there may be aftershocks or more smaller earthquakes. As soon as you can, go outside and don't go into damaged buildings. If you get stuck, cover your eyes, nose, and mouth to keep dust out and make a noise so somebody can hear you and get you out. Staying safe during an earthquake is really important, but it is also important to be prepared before an earthquake happens. There's no way to have a warning before an earthquake happens, so having things ready can really help. There's some great resources and tips on being ready for emergencies, such as FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and ready.gov. One of the best ways you can prepare is to create an emergency kit with your family. You should have food and water for at least 3 days, battery-powered or hand-cranked radio, extra batteries, flashlight and first aid kit, tools for turning off utilities, a cell phone with a charger, and any prescription medications that you need. Ready.gov has a full list with more details. You should also make an evacuation plan with your family and make sure that everyone knows a safe place to meet. Doing these things before an earthquake happens can help you and your family be safe if one does. Here's a list of resources that have more safety information, as well as more information about earthquakes. I'll put the links in the description. So we talked about plate tectonics and how the Earth's crust moves around, and how plates bumping into each other and rubbing past each other causes earthquakes. Talked about the fault lines and took a look at the ones that are near Lake Perris. And we talked about staying safe during an earthquake by ducking and covering, and about being prepared before earthquakes happen. While earthquakes can be scary, with some knowledge and preparation, we can be ready for them. Here in California, where there's a higher chance of earthquakes, we as Californians should have a culture of readiness so that we can deal with earthquakes or any other natural disaster that could happen. This concludes our presentation about earthquakes. Thank you for watching.